Welcome to Stick with Dice, where I talk about all my favorite nerd stuff. I recently finished painting the Battle of Berlin and Stalingrad battle boxes, and now it was time to learn the rules and play our first game of bold action. For the map we just used the Stalingrad factory and some battle systems buildings from the fantasy set as well as the Northern Settlement set. In the scenario we just choose scenario 1. For each destroyed unit you would get a victory point, and after 6 turns the player who has at least 2 victory points more would win the game. If it was only 1 point more, it would be considered a draw. These were our army lists for the Germans and the Soviet Union. For the deployment from the German side we had one grenadier squad, another grenadier squad, the first lieutenant with 2 extra soldiers, another grenadier squad, the Stuck 3 Ausführung G medium tank, another grenadier squad, the medium mortar with spotter, and the final Waffen-SS grenadier squad. For the Soviet side we had one rifle squad, the first lieutenant with 2 extra soldiers, a rifle squad, another rifle squad, the T-34-85 medium tank, the medium mortar with spotter, a rifle squad, and finally an SMG squad. And here we have a close-up of the whole table after we set up deployment. In turn 1, the Germans mostly went into ambush positions or tried to move forward, and the Soviets mostly were running forward. At the factory, most units moved closer to the factory without entering it. In the center of the map, the Soviet mortar attempted to shoot into a grenadier squad in ambush stance and missed. The squad in ambush managed to kill one guy in the rifle squad on the other edge of the map. In the village, the Germans moved into some buildings, while a Soviet rifle squad just moved closer. In turn 2 at the factory, no one really dared to move into the building, as we were both afraid of the other player. At the center of the map, the Stuck fired at the rifle squad, removing another couple soldiers. The Soviet mortar moved the spotter closer to the center and tried again to shoot at the grenadier squad in ambush, missing again. The T-34 tank moved forward, shooting at the German grenadier squad in the house, removing one soldier. At the village, the Soviet rifle squad assaulted the building, winning the close quarter combat, giving the Soviets the first victory point and taking over the house. The Waffen-SS squad went into another house close by and shot at the just overtaken house, removing a few more Soviet troops. The Soviet SMG squad just moved closer. Turn 3 began with the Stuck shooting at the T-34, missing closely. The T-34 then shot at the Stuck 3, destroying the German tank with a lucky shot. At the factory, the Soviets now advanced into the building and then getting shot by the Germans still lurking outside, doing some damage in pin markers. The rifle squad at the center moved also forward, attempting to shoot, unsuccessfully, at the German grenadier squad as they went down immediately. The Soviet mortar advanced to spotter again and tried to shoot at the same unit as well, but missing again. In the village, the Waffen-SS squad left their house and started shooting at the Soviet SMG squad, dealing some more damage. The shooting at the factory continued, with the Soviets mostly just taking cover inside the factory, which made it near impossible for the Germans to defeat these units. At the center, the T-34 moved forward, shooting at the grenadier squad, missing again with all shots. In the village, the SMG squad managed to do some damage to the Waffen-SS squad, who then attempted to retreat to a better position. At the center, the T-34 finally managed to inflict some losses to that grenadier squad, but nothing substantially. At that point, these guys had 5 pin markers on them. With a failed moral test from the Soviet squad inside the house, they rolled a FUBA, which led to some friendly fire killing the Soviet mortar spotter, who never managed to really get any line of sight to anyone and just died after walking over half the map. In the village, the Soviet SMG squad then managed to destroy the Waffen-SS squad, giving the Soviets 3 victory points. At that point, the Germans forfeited the game, giving the victory to the Soviets. See you next time.